Hey there.
Oh, hey there. I am Fred.
I am Kate.
This is
take two. We had cat incidences.
too many of them to...
Well, they sneak in, and then they attack the cords, and...
Well, no, Oliver attacks the cords.
Oliver attacks the cords. Anyway, so this is take two. We're starting over. How are you?
History buffoons.
Okay. Yes. This is the origin of Weird But History Foods, and today we're going to talk about thalidomide babies.
Yes, I am well. How are you? This is... So, do you ever, drive by a car crash and just, people are gawking? Like, oh, what happened?
Oh, for sure. Rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people would be doing if they watched this right now. Look at that car crash. Thalidomide
babies.
Demide?
Thalidomide babies.
Okay.
So in the late 1950s, doctors and pharmacists across Europe began recommending what seemed like a miracle drug.
Which is never...
It's never a miracle.
No, because with all the miracle drugs we've had over time, and it's funny because it seems like a lot of them came from prior times to us, and it's like, did you really know?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it came in small tablets, easy to swallow, and it promised a really good night's sleep.
Did they also come in chewable form?
Not at the time.
So they did later?
We don't know.
Okay.
Maybe, perhaps.
They put it in the Flintstones vitamins?
Did you grow up on those?
I did.
I totally did, too.
Yeah, I think most of our generation did,
Probably.
to be honest.
It was just candy, basically.
100%.
So the medication was called thalidomide, and it was marketed as a gentle sedative.
Okay.
It was easy. Nope. It was impossible to overdose on.
Which, again, the human race finds a way.
And unlike other sleeping pills of that era, it had no serious side effects.
That they knew of.
Mm-hmm. And so for people struggling with insomnia, anxiety, morning sickness, even during pregnancy, it was a blessing. So pregnant women were encouraged to take this. Doctors believe that it helped nausea during early pregnancy.
Is it nausea or nausea?
Tomato?
Is that?
I think so.
Okay. I always was curious because I think I say nausea.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I think it's tomato. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So pharmacists sold it confidently in several countries. It didn't require a prescription. The drug was so widely trusted that some advertisements suggested that it was safe enough for both mother and unborn child.
Oh, boy.
And for a while, nothing was wrong.
Until those mothers... Let me guess. Started having babies. Hence the thalidomide. Am I saying it right?
Sure.
I
mean, who knows if I'm saying it right? So,
touche.
Around 1959 and 1960, something strange began happening in the maternity ward in Europe.
Yeah.
Doctors started noticing babies were born with severe and unusual deformities.
Okay, let's get a rundown here. What are they?
Some infants were born without arms.
So it was just straight, not even a nub, just straight, no arms?
I mean, I haven't looked at pictures.
And I don't think I want to.
Yeah.
Because that sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
Others
Jesus.
had legs that were extremely shortened. In certain areas, this is wild, hands seem to grow directly from the shoulders or feet from the hips.
So kind of like when I think of the feet like that, I think of E.T.
Yeah.
Right? You know what can you picture it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've only seen that movie once because it scared me as a child and I never saw it again.
Well, I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah.
This is the Reese's Pieces.
And
is that what scared you?
No, it was actually the people in suits at the end.
Right.
That scared me.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then there's also a movie with Angelica Houston called The Witches. That scared me as a kid. And my brother was babysitting one time. Shout out to my brother Eric. So rude. He made me watch it while he was babysitting. And I was traumatized even more and have yet to watch it again. And I have not watched the remake with Anne Hathaway. But I digress. Okay.
Oh, that's a remake of that. Okay.
Yes.
I guess I didn't know that.
Yes. Okay. So the condition that they were seeing was called phocomelia. My apologies. Phocomelia.
Phocomelia.
It was a rare birth defect where limbs failed to develop properly.
That sucks.
So these babies were known in the media as thalidomide babies, though at first no one knew the cause. So physicians, the sudden increase in these cases were a little unsettling.
Right.
Birth defects were extremely rare, but now hospitals were seeing them again and again.
Jeez.
So pediatricians were comparing notes, and obstetrician tried to identify patterns. Some wondered if it was environmental, perhaps radiation or pollution or an unknown virus.
Right.
But cases kept appearing.
So you said over in the UK, this is mainly where you're talking about right now, did these things, because you said it was sold in several countries, did these same things happen in those other countries as well?
Yes, and I will get to a little bit more specifics on that starting right now.
Oh, okay.
These cases weren't just isolated to the UK.
Yep.
Germany had a wave of these births. So did Australia, Canada, and parts of Asia.
Wow.
And doctors started realizing, doctors started realizing something larger was happening. Thousands of families were suddenly facing these heartbreaking circumstances with babies born with missing or malformed limbs, damaged ears, heart defects, or internal organ problems.
Right.
And these parents were confused and devastated.
I would imagine.
And mothers were like, what did I do wrong? And it's like, it's not you.
Well.
But no one could answer. They didn't know. Okay, so the mystery began unraveling when a few researchers started looking closely at what the mothers had taken during pregnancy.
Which makes sense. You would obviously want to look through that because clearly something's going in them and then something abnormal is coming out of them. So there has to be a correlation there.
Yes. So one of the first physicians to connect the dots was a German pediatrician named Widukind Lenz.
Vicodin?
Widukind. Lenz.
Widukind. What's his last name?
Lenz. Lenz.
Oh, okay.
Widukind Lenz.
Those Germans, man.
I know.
Wild names.
Wild. So as he interviews families, he begins to notice
the same pattern
that the mothers are taking the same medication earlier in their pregnancy, and that was the thalidomide.
Right.
So another doctor in Australia named William McBride noticed the same pattern independently, but at the same time.
So not a corresponding study. Just
yes.
He noticed it in Australia. He noticed it in Germany.
Exactly at the same time. Yeah.
Okay.
So the more cases they studied, the clearer the connection became.
Right.
When pregnant women took thalidomide during a very specific window of early pregnancy, roughly between the 3rd and 8th week of conception, the developing embryo could be severely affected.
Huh.
The narrow window was exactly when limbs, ears, and other structures begin forming.
Makes sense.
Thalidomide interfered with the growth of tiny blood vessels that embryos need during development.
Okay.
So without these blood vessels, tissue couldn't grow properly.
Yeah.
Arms might never form, legs might stop growing halfway, ears and eyes could be damaged.
So you said some of them just had like hands out their shoulders, if you will. When did hands start growing?
I don't know.
Doesn't that seem
weird?
Yeah,
it seems like arms and then hands, but...
Well, makes sense and whatever, but like I remember seeing the ultrasounds of my kids and it's like, hey, look at those little hands.
Yeah.
That's just wild that it was such a specific time. Would it make sense if that's when those things start to develop?
Yeah.
I could see how that would severely fuck it up.
So, I mean, if they were taking the drug during the arm development stage and then they stopped taking it, or it went past the arm development stage to the hand development stage, and then that's when those
hard to say, but it's just kind of weird because...
I mean, I'm a doctor, but whatever. What?
Let's move on.
So in some cases, just 1 or 2 pills during that window of
Would
time
severely
could cause permanent changes to that fetus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they notice? Did you come across it all after that window? If the mother was taking that, were things fine then, or did you not come across that?
I did not come across that.
That's all right.
Yeah. That would be interesting, though.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, if it's such a specific window for these certain things.
And, like, for many people, morning sickness continues throughout the pregnancy, not just that first trimester.
Right. Besides the extreme high blood pressure for Sarah, she was very lucky and did not have morning sickness for either child of ours. So she got lucky.
Yeah.
And good thing she didn't take that.
Thalidomide.
Because I wouldn't want to see Vesper walking around with feet coming out of her pelvis or whatever.
No.
Her hips. It'd be weird.
So by early 1960s, the evidence had become undeniable.
Sure.
The drug that had been marketed as a safe sleeping aid was responsible for one of the largest medical disasters of the 20th century.
Wow.
So estimates vary, but experts believe that more than 10,000 babies worldwide were born with thalidomide-related deformities.
That's crazy. 10,000?
And only about half survived infancy.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask, are there...
Yeah, so many died from internal organ complications, heart and digestive defects.
Okay.
And those who did survive faced enormous challenges. Children grew up without arms and learned to use their feet to eat, write, perform everyday tasks.
Right.
Others relied on prosthetic limbs, and many underwent dozens of surgeries throughout childhood.
Sure, it's just to try and correct anything they obviously possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
That would make it really hard to drive.
Yeah.
The old 10 and 2.
So despite these hardships, many survivors did live on to live remarkable lives.
Okay.
Adapting in ways that...
most people couldn't.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So the tragedy also exposed some major flaws in how medications were tested and approved.
Yep.
Some investigators looked back at the original development of thalidomide, and they discovered something. The drug had been tested on animals, but researchers had not adequately studied its effects on pregnant animals.
Oh, sure.
So the impact on fetal development had gone unnoticed. So
do you think if they did it, I don't know what kind of animals they mostly test on, if it's a chimp or something.
Yeah.
A chimp born without arms, that'd be weird as fuck.
Yeah. But the drugs manufacturer, a German pharmaceutical company called Chemie Grünenthal, that's what it is.
I like it.
Had promoted thalidomide aggressively.
Sure, because they want to make money.
In many countries, it was sold under dozens of brand names and widely distributed throughout clinical trials. And once the link to birth defects became clear, governments rushed to pull the drug from the market.
Okay.
And by late 1961, thalidomide was being withdrawn across the world.
Wow.
In one country, something unusual had happened. In the United States,
yes,
the drug had been submitted for approval to the Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah.
A pharmacologist named Frances Oldham Kelsey was assigned to review the application. As she studied the company's research data, she noticed gaps and inconsistencies.
Oh.
The safety study seemed incomplete.
Okay.
Reports of nerve damage in patients raised additional concerns. So instead of approving the drug quickly, as many would have expected, Kelsey repeatedly asked the company for more evidence.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical representatives grew frustrated, and of course they pushed for her approval. Thalidomide was already selling well overseas, and the company hoped to capture the American market, but Kelsey refused to sign off on it.
Good.
So her insistence on stronger safety data meant that thalidomide never received widespread approval in the United States.
That's crazy.
Only small quantities were distributed through clinical trials, which limited its impact.
Of course.
So when the global disaster became known, her decision was recognized as a life-saving act of scientific caution.
Sure.
In 1962, President John F. Kennedy awarded Frances Kelsey the President's Award for Distinguished Federal Civilian Service.
That's awesome.
Her refusal to rush approval had spared thousands of American families from the tragedy unfolding elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the thalidomide disaster changed medicine forever. Public outrage pushed governments to strengthen drug safety regulations.
Okay.
And in the United States, new laws required pharmaceutical companies to both prove safety and effectiveness before drugs could reach the market.
Good.
And clinical trials became much more rigorous.
Okay.
Testing during pregnancy also became a critical area of research.
So that's a common practice these days since this happened, basically?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Modern drug approval systems with their multiple trial phases and strict oversight owe much to the lessons learned from this thalidomide.
Okay.
Words.
Words are tough.
Thalidomide disaster.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Despite its devastating history,
Yeah.
thalidomide did not disappear.
Imagine that.
Years later, researchers discovered that the drug had powerful anti-inflammatory and immune-modulating effects.
Okay.
So under extremely strict controls, it began to be used to treat certain diseases, including complications of leprosy and a type of blood cancer known as multiple myeloma.
Okay.
Today, thalidomide and related drugs are still prescribed in carefully monitored programs where pregnancy prevention is strictly enforced.
Wow.
The same medication that once caused the worst pharmaceutical tragedies in history now helped treat life-threatening illnesses.
That's crazy.
It is a reminder that medicine often walks a strange line between this disaster and discovery.
Yep.
For the families, thousands of families affected, the story of thalidomide was not just a historical lesson. It was part of their lives, written into their bodies, into their experiences.
Right.
Children who were born with missing limbs grew up to become artists and athletes, activists and advocates, all A's for disability rights. And many survivors have spoken publicly about their lives, determined that the world would never forget the lessons of the past. And that is the story of the thalidomide babies.
That's wild.
Isn't it?
That's just weird that, like, I mean, knock on wood that I have all my digits and arms and limbs and my kids do and so on, but damn, I couldn't imagine. And, like, great for them that, you know, they could find a life afterwards. It was such struggles early on in life, but poor, what'd you say, half? Didn't even make it through infancy, right?
Yeah,
That's sad.
It is, yeah.
It's a lot of kids to have die because a drug company, and you know how I feel about drugs, you know, stuff like that. I don't even really like taking ibuprofen or whatever if I don't have to. So, I mean, I know there's ones out there that help people, and that's great, but man, I don't like how, like, you sit down and if you put on normal TV, it's like 40% of the commercials are pushing these fucking drugs for, oh, hey, you got a little blotch on your skin. We can make it 70% better.
Right.
Or you could just be like, I don't care.
But the side effects can lead to
death, suicide, and, you know, all these other just ridiculous, you know. And the one that I love always on those commercials, if you're allergic to,
I know, it's
name
like, do
your
not
drug
take.
here. Well, no shit. It's just like, I'm allergic to bees. Sting me, bee.
Yeah.
No, obviously not. But it's just, there's so many like side effects from the stuff. And I know the funny thing is about the side effects, it could have happened once, but then they have to say it. But it's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
If we just all wouldn't care. Just kidding.
If we were all just healthy.
Well, I mean, I know I do unhealthy things, unfortunately, but I'm not sitting there putting hard drugs or anything like that in my body either. But, you know, unfortunately, people have to go through shit.
Yeah.
It happens. And sometimes some drugs help, and that's great. But if we could all just be healthy, that'd be amazing. And we're all going for world peace, too.
Absolutely.
Welp.
I suppose.
All right, buffoons. That's it for today's episode.
Buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate. Music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.